B207A master session. This is a review session for the course. It's for the final exam. I will take any questions you have for the final exam. Plus, I will show you what is required in this final exam that is going to be on June 3rd. So it's next month. It's on June 3rd from 9:30 to 12:30. Okay. Definitely you need to check the final exam schedule on the AOU website in case there are any changes. The date that I have as for now is June 3rd. Okay. Do you have any questions before we get started? Anybody have
It's on Saturday, right?
It will be a Saturday, yes. June 3rd will be a Saturday.
9 to 12. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, so I will start by sharing my screen. Can you see my screen here?
Yes, clear.
All right. So I will log in to the LMS as you do. So this is how a student would see the LMS. I have created a new icon here called Final Exam. So you need to click on the Final Exam, and here you will see the final exam instructions. So the final exam will include course material from week 7 to week 14. So as you know, we have already taken week 1 to week 6 in the midterm exam. So from week 7 to week 14 are the course, the PowerPoints that are included for the final exam. Okay, so anything you took before, you studied before for the midterm, will not be included. You will not be asked about the old course material. So just like you had in the midterm exam, you're going to be having 4 essay questions. All questions are required, and the answers should be in an essay format. Okay, again, for the date, please check the AOU website, download the schedule for the exams, and highlight all your courses' final exams. That would be the best way to go. Okay, now here I have also uploaded an old exam, an old sample. You could also download this sample and open it. Okay, so I think I opened it twice. All right. So here you go. This is the final exam of the previous semester. You probably already have it. You got the questions from forums, from WhatsApp groups, from whatever. This is the final exam of the previous semester. So the best thing to do is for the review is to solve this this exam. Okay, of course, you could be having questions from any part of the course material. This is not the only thing that you could be having questions from. Okay, so please يا شباب وصبايا يعني إذا أنا بعمل ريفيو على الأولد فاينل إكزام ما يعني رح يجوا هول الأسئلة. أي شيء موجود بالكورس ماتيريال أنتم مسؤولين عنه. Okay, بس this is a sample. Here I'm going to show you how to answer the questions. Okay, I will help you just like we did for the midterm exam. So I will help you find the answers in the PowerPoint and then write your answers in an essay format. Okay, this is something that you need to practice on. يعني I know that a lot of you understand the material, you know the material, you have memorized a lot of it. But when it comes to writing, you find it difficult to write your thoughts in an essay format. Is this true?
Yes.
Yes,
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 doctor,
anyone?
sometimes.
Okay, perfect. So as you are studying, it's not enough to remember the course material. You need to also practice on writing. As you are studying for the course, for the final exam, practice on writing. So think to yourself, what if I have this question? Okay, I will imagine myself inside the classroom, having a specific time to answer the question. I want to write the answer in an essay format, and you go ahead and act as if you are in the exam. Write the full answer, answering the question, and see how you do with that. Okay, so again, please don't only study the course material, but also practice on writing the answers of questions as you are studying. Whenever you come through, whenever you come across a certain topic, try to write the answer yourself without looking at the PowerPoints or your notes. Okay, so this is the previous final exam. The first question is discuss any three of the six performance objectives of an operation strategy. Okay, so where do you think where does this come from? Which
Week
PowerPoint?
7. Week 7.
This is week 7.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so I will open week 7. And I have to go to the operations objectives. As you know, we have six operations objectives, right? The quality, the speed, the flexibility, the sustainability, the dependability, and the cost. Now, the nice thing about this question is that it asks you to discuss only three out of the six. So if you have forgotten one or two, you will also be fine. Okay, well, sometimes we ask you to discuss all six. Okay, it's not always the case that we ask you to discuss a certain number. It depends on the question and what the requirement of the question is. All right, so here in this particular question, we want only three of the performance objectives. So you may pick any three. Okay, there's no preference at all from my side of which performance objectives you need to pick. Now, here comes the part where you need to start the writing. So let me open a blank document, and here's question 1. As we agreed in the midterm exam, you need to start with an introductory sentence, a very quick or short answer, sentence that tells the reader what to expect in this small essay. All right. So this introductory,
Doctor,
the
the
screen has.
screening. Yes.
Okay.
Preparing
Okay.
to share the web.
Okay. Can you see the screen now?
Yeah, just come back.
All right. Great. Thanks for letting me know. Okay, Amjad, I think you are sharing the whiteboard. Is this right?
What did you say, Doctor?
No, no. A person called Amjad Al-Mutairi, is preparing to share a whiteboard. Can you stop that, Amjad, please? Okay, just give me 1 minute. Okay, so it's all right. Problem solved. Okay, great. So here we have question 1. We're back to question 1. Discuss any 3 of the 6 performance objectives of an operation. So basically, here, what we need to discuss are the operations requirements. Okay, so we have the performance objectives, and in our introductory sentence, we need to tell the reader that we will discuss 3 operations performance objective. Okay, so let's go back. We could say something like the performance objective of the operation consists of quality, speed, sustainability, dependability. What else?
Cost.
Flexibility and cost. In this essay, we are going to discuss, and here you can pick, for example, quality, speed, and cost. Okay, that's my choice. Your choice could be anything else. You could choose any 3 that you are comfortable discussing. Okay, so the essay format suggests that you go now to a paragraph and you discuss the first one, quality. What does quality mean? So can you help me here? What does quality mean?
High performance quality often need the quality defined, sets a clear specification.
Okay, so quality is the clear specifications. Actually, it's performing.
دكتورة
Yes, go ahead.
السكرين ترمش ماني عارفة إيش مشكلتها.
Is it the problem for everyone?
لا أنا عندي تمام. It's working well.
Okay.
Shall I يعني leave and enter again?
Yes, it would be a good idea if you leave and
Okay.
enter the. It seems it's the problem is only from your side. Okay, so first,
Doctor, you
quality.
mean by the quality only by the performance itself?
Yes, it's quality as it appears in the performance objective. What is quality? This is one of the performance objectives of an operation, is to have products that are consistent with the requirements of the customer. This is what quality means. All right?
It's okay if I respond like it is about the products how being processed and what it delivers and it meets the customer needs.
Yes, this is
Could
okay
be
as
it's
well.
correct يعني. Okay.
This is also correct. The most important thing with quality is to say that it was the product should be produced according to the customer specification. This is the main definition of quality. All right. So mentioning the customer here is a very good point, is a very important point, because what does quality mean? When you say a high quality item, in the eyes of who? It's in the eyes of the customers, the target customers, not any customer. It's the target customer of this product or brand or company, right? So any company cannot please everyone in the market. It will try its best to satisfy the target customers. All right. This is when the target customers are pleased and happy, This is when we say that we have a good quality. All right? So quality is the high performance of products that are defined by a clear specification as it is linked back by the customer requirement. Okay, this is one definition. Okay, and I wrote this from my own words. You could just copy and paste the definition in the PowerPoint, or you could write something similar. All right, any questions so far?
Clear.
Okay, now since the question said discuss, let's يعني discuss a little bit. Let's have it a little bit longer. Customers will judge the quality through their perception. Second, so since I mentioned quality, speed, and cost, so the second one will be speed. Speed is the time. What do we mean by speed?
Fast. Deliver products as soon as possible.
Right. So speed is the time it takes to produce the product or to deliver the product to the final customer, right? An operation needs to perform a task in the shortest possible time span. Why? Because time is money. The faster you do your task, the faster you produce your products, the more money you can save. Okay? Also, you could add, so I will not add it here because you can just take it from the PowerPoint. This speed measure is referred as throughput time, which is defined as the time taken for a resource to work through a process from start to finish. Okay, you could also add this in order to explain your idea better. All right, so this is second. Third, cost is, and also you will get this part from the PowerPoint. Let's go to cost. Yes, you can do the best quality product. Yes, you can do the shortest time and the most flexible, sustainable, whatever it is, but you have to pay attention to your cost. Okay, if you do a great quality product, but then the cost ends up being high, in a way that your price becomes unaffordable by your customer, then you have done something wrong. Okay, so you have to control the cost in a way that that you keep it under control for your target customers. Okay, and also you need to make a profit as a company. So here,
Doctor,
yeah, go ahead.
is it okay to mention the economic of scale in cost?
The economic what?
Economic of scales. Producing large quantity with lowest
Oh,
cost.
the economies of scale?
Yes.
Yes, you can. Yes, of course, it's related to the cost. You can say the more quantity you produce, the less the cost becomes, right?
Yes, doctor.
And also you have to link the cost to the price, because the higher your cost, the more costly your product will be to the customer. Maybe they cannot afford it anymore, so you have to pay attention to your cost. Okay, so you could write this part as your third paragraph answering the question. Okay, so this is pretty straightforward. This is straightforward. and you just get the definition of any three performance objectives, and you put them here in the first paragraph. All right, so now part B.
Doctor, is it okay to leave and watch this as recorded?
Yeah, no problem. There's no attendance on this.
Yes, because I have I believe no further questions to ask, so I would...
No problem. Feel free to leave. Okay,
will
so
you share through email?
I will upload it on YouTube. I will upload this recording on YouTube.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, sure. All right, so part B is how would you compare the performance objectives between business class and economy class flights? Okay, so here we talk about airlines. So here we have business class versus economy class. طيب. What are the main performance objectives that you could compare here between the two different services or the two different products that you can buy when you want to book your ticket? في عنا business class وفي عنا economy class. شو الفرق الأول والأساسي؟
Maybe the cost.
Okay, yes. The cost for business class, the customer will be paying more, and also it's costing, it does cost the airline more money to operate the business class than to operate the economy class. Okay, I'm talking per person يعني, because the seats are bigger, the service is better, and so on, right? So we can talk about the costs. What else can we talk about?
Quality.
Yes, we can talk about the quality, maybe the quality of food, the quality of service, the quality of, yes. Okay, also speed. Yes. Will you get, yeah? Yes, Mahmoud, go ahead.
Speed of procedures.
The speed of procedures. So the business class passengers will get on the plane faster, they will operate faster, they have like a VIP service, everything is faster. Maybe they are also served the food faster. If they are going from Jeddah to Paris, will they arrive faster to Paris?
Yes.
Yes?
No.
It's the same airplane. Yes.
لا دكتور بس أحيانا يجي يعني يوقفون في مطارات مختلفة، فهمتي كيف؟ هذا اللي أقصده.
Okay, but يعني
ما تكون direct.
business class will go through the same flight as the economy class, but the difference is in the service provided. They don't have to stand in line. Maybe their luggage, they take their luggage faster, they go out faster, they get into the plane faster, and so on. Okay, this is where the speed gets in. Okay, so you can discuss these 3 points just like we discussed them now. The difference between the business class and economy class. You could also talk about the flexibility. Let's discuss flexibility. What is the difference between the flexibility of business class and economy class?
Special meal that they can order.
Right. Special meals. Yes. Yeah, go ahead, Majid.
The seats, they get comfortable seats other than the economy class.
Absolutely, yes. Also, if they want to change their ticket,
change the date.
Absolutely, the date and the time, they have more flexibility to change their tickets. Sometimes we buy an economy class tickets and they say this is not refundable, you have to pay a fine or you have to pay whatever to change your date or your flight or whatever. It's not the case with the business class. Business class passengers get more flexibility in changing. All right, so it's more flexible. Notice that a higher flexibility and a higher speed and a higher quality will lead to what?
Good service.
Yeah, it will
Special
lead
service.
to a special
Higher
service,
cost.
but to a higher cost. Exactly. It leads to a higher cost. So here, what we have here are two different target customers. We have a group of people who are interested in the business class tickets, and we have another target who are interested in the economy class ticket. And these two are going on the same plane. This is why the airlines differentiate these two, because they have different needs and wants, and they are willing to pay different for the products that they buy. Okay, so because of these differences, the performance objectives have changed for the two tickets. Although, again, from Jeddah to Paris, it will still take 4 or 5 hours, whatever. Okay, but the rest of the operation objectives are now different. Okay, any questions? Okay, تمام. So let's move to the second question. Question number 2 says, not all design activity has to produce radically innovative outputs. There are different types for new product development. Discuss incremental enhancement of existing products and 2 other types of new product development. Okay, now you are going to tell me, where did we discuss new product development?
Week 9.
All right, so this question belongs to week 9. So we are going to take our thoughts back to week 9, and we will discuss incremental enhancement, new generation products, and breakthrough products. All right, so these three are the requirement here. It's very clear. Discuss incremental enhancement of existing products and also 2 other types of new product development. All right, so again, this question is very straightforward. So you just start by writing the question number, and you don't have to write A and B here. It's one part. You start with an introductory sentence. By the way, the introductory sentence, and so many times, could be taken from the question itself. Okay, so you can take some of the wording from the questions, because the question itself has so many keywords that belong to the answer and that could be used in the introduction. Okay, so you could say there are different types for new product development. All right, so let me copy this. There are different types for new product development. Incremental. In this essay, we will discuss incremental enhancement, okay, what else? For existing products, new generation products, right? And the last one is breakthrough products. All right. So this is a very small introduction. It does the job in the exam. This is enough. and then you start with mentioning the first idea of your essay, which is the incremental enhancement of existing product. Okay, so incremental what is it? What is incremental enhancement? The word incremental means we are going to change the product, enhance it every time just a little bit. So it's incremental enhancement. So we are going to change it little by little. All right. So when we started with the first generation iPhone, until we reached today, I think we have iPhone what? iPhone 14 or I'm not sure. So throughout the years, okay, throughout the years, we had these incremental enhancements, little by little enhancements. Year after year, you didn't see big changes or big jumps. But if you take the first generation product and this year's product, you will see a very big change 14 years back till now. Okay, so this is called incremental enhancement. We are changing a little bit every time, but over time, the change will be big. All right, so you can get the definition from here, from the PowerPoint. You can say existing products can be given some form of minor modification to enhance some aspect of their performance. Okay, this is a small design. This is a small redesign to reduce its weight, reduce its unit cost, or to improve its reliability. With the case of the iPhone, you always have enhancements in the camera and the colors and the storage, how much megabytes you can or gigabytes you could store on the phone, and so on. Okay. So that's the incremental enhancement of existing products. Now, the second, okay, so again, let me remind you that you are going to write whatever you need to write here in the incremental enhancement. Let's write first, just to make sure that we are covering our 3 points. And then second, the new generation products are, okay, and again, you are going to get all the definition from the PowerPoint. Sometimes the company will develop a completely new product or completely redesign an existing product. Okay, a great example here are the audio technology, where every time we have a new way to listen to music, we started with the big discs. Back in the days, maybe our parents' days, they used to listen, if they want to hear anything audio, they had the big discs, and then new generation products appeared over the years until today. We have digital media, digital music, or digital audio, whatever you want to call it. Okay, so that's the new generation product. You're going to do the same thing for the breakthrough product, give it a definition, and it's good to give an example. Actually, it's a, no, the question doesn't ask about examples. So the examples would not be graded, but it's very good to give an example to support your point, to support your idea. Okay, any questions?
Thank you very much.
Okay, great. So let's go to question 3. Question 3 says, B&G manufactures 120 different types of cleaning products. All products are made using batch processes. All right, so let me put this in red. The batch processes. We have studied this in one of the chapters. The demand for the cleaning product is stable throughout the year. The operations manager believes that understanding the 4 V's could help him assess the process design. So also here we have the 4 V's. These 2 questions are about the batch processes and the 4 V's of operation. Okay, again, We need to take our thoughts back to which chapter? Which week?
Week 10.
Yes, I believe it's week 10. Okay, and we are going to start with the definition of a batch process. All right. Now here, again, this is a sample exam. You could be asked about a project process, a jobbing process, a batch process, mass or continuous process. All of these are examples of processes that the operation could use. All right. It depends. What makes you choose one process over the other? It's the volume and the variety that you have in your operation. What are the volume and variety? They are part of the 4 V's of operation. Okay, so this is how the two questions are linked together. All right, and this is why we asked about the batch processes and the 4 V's. Okay, now understanding your 4 V's, specifically volume and variety, will lead you to deciding on which process you are going to use. All right, so in this case, it's the batch process. Right. Let's go back here and take the questions one by one. All right, so a very high proportion of manufacturing, possibly as much as 60%, is performed as a batch production. What does batch mean? شو يعني batch بالعربي؟
جروب مجموعة.
Yes, مجموعة. Exactly. It's a group. It's a group of products. It's a مجموعة, right? Okay. So just like you see here with this bakery, they make each batch together. Of course, the bakery would not make one loaf at a time. All right. It's not like a project process where you do one project at a time. No. Here you have to make a big batch of the same flavor. Okay, so the whole batch will be the same recipe, the same flavor, the same whatever. Now, once the batch is done, once this batch is over, you will put in the oven maybe another flavor or another type of bread. Okay, this is why you can divide your production into batches. When you produce clothing, for example, maybe you want to produce the color red t-shirts first. Okay, so you do color red first as the first batch, and then after that you are going to make your green t-shirts as another batch, and so on. You can divide it on sizing maybe, or color, or whatever your operation decides on how you want to divide your batches. Okay, so this is a definition of a batch. Okay, in a batch facility, the equipment will be set up to produce one batch of product, and once that batch is complete, the equipment will be reset so that a batch of a different item can be produced using the same resources. You could either use this definition or your own definition. Of course, it will be similar to this. Okay? So here we have question 3. Part A, a batch process is, and you get the definition from the PowerPoint. Okay, now part B, let's go back to part B. Discuss the 4 V's that influence the process design and also support your answer with examples. So whenever you have support your answer with examples, you need to give examples, because this means that the example part has certain grades. So please don't lose those grades by not mentioning examples. Okay, so now let's go back to the 4 V's. And here we have an essay to write. So as you will notice, this is not an essay. This is just answering a quick question. It's a definition. So you don't have to write an introductory sentence or a conclusion sentence for this, for part A. Okay, but every time you have different ideas that you need to discuss, those ideas will be put in different paragraphs, then you know you need to write an essay. Okay, this is how you can differentiate between how to answer each question. All right, so in your introductory sentence, what do you think we need to put? What do we put in the introductory sentence, just like we did before?
The definition of the batch process firstly, then we will mention directly the VC types, then
We're
we'll give
done.
an
We're
example.
done with the batch. We're done with the batch process in part A. خلاص, you don't have to mention it again in part B. Okay? The 4 V's, this is the main idea here. In part B, the 4 V's of operations consist of what? Of volume, variety, variation of demand, and visibility. The 4 V's of operations affect how the process will be set, right? In this essay, the 4 V's of operations will be discussed with examples. All right, so this is a very short and quick way to introduce what you are doing here. All right, so first, the volume is, what is the volume? It's the scale, right? It's the quantity. It's the number of items that you are producing. Here you can say that McDonald's has a very big volume, while a small coffee shop next to your house, for example, has a much lower volume. The volume means the quantity that you produce. And this is where you could mention economies of scale. Higher volume means higher economies of scale and more cost cutting. All right? So, so here you are going to put the definition of volume. The volume is the quantity, or you can say the number of units that that an operation produces. So now, of course, you know that the higher the volume, the less the cost of the unit becomes. So there will be higher economies of scale with high volume operations. Okay. You can get anything you want here from here, also from the PowerPoints. I wrote it in my own words. You can write it in your own words. You could get the definition from the PowerPoint. Feel free to do whatever makes a better sense for you. All right. So when you have a high volume, you can have more automated equipment and dedicating staff to specific roles within the overall process. So if you have high volume, it makes sense to have more automation and more machines. This helps achieve repeatability and standardization. Okay, so this is very good for us to bring here. In this paragraph. Okay. Now, for example, don't forget the example. For example, McDonald's has a high volume, while a smaller burger restaurant or fast food would have a lower volume. Okay, that's your first paragraph. You can يعني خلاص, it's complete now. You have mentioned the main keyword. Okay, you have mentioned the definition, you have discussed it, and you have mentioned also an example. With this, your answer will be complete for the first part. You are going to do something similar for your second thing, which is variety. Okay, do you understand what variety is?
تنوع.
التنوع. Okay, so basically it's how many products you produce or offer. The higher your variety, the more expensive your operation will become, because the more raw material you need to get, يعني the more variety will add complexity. Okay, and complexity will add cost to your operation. So the simpler your operation is, the better it is for you to run it. All right. At the same time, you need to be careful to appeal to your customer needs. All right. So you need to find a good balance between having a low variety and also the satisfaction of your customers. All right. So يعني انتوا شفتوا شو عملنا هون بالفirst paragraph. You are going to do something similar with the second paragraph, and then the third paragraph. Let's go to variation of demand. فاهمين شو يعني variation of demand? Yes? No?
No, doctor.
تغيرات
No?
وانواع الطلبات.
Yes, تغيرات وأنواع الطلبات. طيب طيب ليلي قالوا لي no. طيب variation in demand. بالعادة لو عنا نحن مطعم أو لو عنا أي بزنس بالعالم، كتير صعب إنه يكون عنده نفس الديماند بكل الأوقات، خلال اليوم، خلال الأسبوع، خلال السنة، خلال الأشهر. على طول حيكون في variation. يعني الديماند ممكن for McDonald's for example in the morning it starts a little bit high and then it goes down. All right, and then at lunchtime it goes up and then it goes down in the afternoon and then goes up for dinner time. Okay, that's an example. You cannot have a straight demand throughout the day, a stable demand. يعني ما حيكون عندنا نفس الطلب من الكاستمرز، نفس كمية الكاستمرز بكل أوقات اليوم أو بكل أوقات الأسبوع أو بكل أوقات الشهر. Okay, weekends are usually busier than weekdays. Lunch times and dinner time are busier as well than the rest of the day. All right, so this is what variation in demand means. If the demand was stable throughout the day, this would be much easier for us to run the operation. Okay, because there will be no uncertainties. I know exactly how much customers will be present at each time. But the variation of demand will increase the complexity. It will increase the cost as well. يعني because when you have more complexity, automatically you have more cost. Okay, طيب. So suppose we are servicing مثلا 10 customers in the morning, and then all of the sudden we are servicing 50 customers at lunchtime. Okay, this means that you will be having employees, machines, resources in the morning time sitting there and doing nothing. صح؟ الريسورسز تبعولكم رح يتعطلوا. الموظفين الماشينز اللي عندكم رح يكونوا معطلين for a certain time. اوكي، ولو انتم جيتوا بدكم تعملوا planning عدد موظفين وعدد مثلا ماشينز على حسب الديماند الأقل، انتوا رح تخسروا لما البزنس يعلى الديماند. alright, so here you have to make a compromise between having to satisfy the high demand or having to satisfy the low demand or be somewhere in between. Okay, what is the compromise? The compromise will be making your customers wait in line when there is high demand. Okay, this is a compromise. هيدي تضحية، يعني تضحية من جهة إنه ممكن الكاستمر ما يقبل يوقف باللاين، يقول لا أنا I don't want to stand in line. In this case you will lose business. All right, so understanding the variation in demand will help you plan your business, okay, and it will help you understand how you should set it up. Clear?
Yes, doctor, clear.
Okay, perfect. Now, the last one is called visibility. Visibility, most of the time when you order a product, you don't see the item being made. When you buy your smartphone, when you buy your computer, when you buy milk from the supermarket, you don't see. You just grab, you just take the final product. You can't see how it was made because you weren't there at the at the factory to see how it was made. However, there are some operations who allow you to see how your product is made. For example, some restaurants would show you their kitchen. Some restaurants have an open kitchen. If you want to go buy coffee, you will see how your coffee is being made. These types of businesses have a high level of visibility. Okay, كلمة visibility يعني مرئي. You can see. It comes from the word vision. Okay, so visibility, when it's a high visibility, it will cost you more money. It will be more complex لأنه بدنا نحسب حساب الكاستمر، رح يشوف نحن شو عم نعمل, right? So we have to take into consideration the customer will see exactly what we're doing. So everything should be done in a way visible to the customer. All right. However, if the customer can't see anything, so visibility is very low. In this case, your operation will be less complex and less costly. All right. Again, you are going to do the same thing here. You can discuss high visibility, medium visibility, or low visibility. You will give examples just like I did. I just gave you examples for this. All right. So here you are going to have 4 paragraphs. Okay. And that's it. You could write a small sentence once you're done. You could write a small conclusion sentence, okay, that summarizes what you have said. Any questions?
Clear.
Clear.
Thank you.
Okay, perfect. The last question, what is supply chain management? Support your answer with examples. Okay, here also we have 2 parts. Which week does this belong to?
The last one.
The last one. It's week 14. All right. You have here the supply chain management. This is a definition. You could write this definition. supply chain management and support your answer with examples. You could add an example, for example, similar to this one. Okay, I know this is very big and it could be complex, but mentioning any example of supply chain of anything that starts with raw material and ends up at the customer's hand. Yani, for example, you could say that the
دكتورة, I
milk
like
that you buy.
يعني in a process output model.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, okay. Not that. Okay.
Okay. But in supply chain, you have to mention the different steps. Here we have different stages, different steps that the product goes through. All right. So the milk that you buy from the supermarket, where does it start?
Manufacturing.
Taking the milk
Manufacturing.
from the farm.
Exactly. So taking the milk from the farm, the fat, and then from the cow specifically, right? And then take it to the factory. They do a certain process with it. After the factory, it goes to maybe a warehouse, from the warehouse to the store, and then from the store to your home. Or you could say customer. All right. So because we said an example, okay, show me an example from your understanding. What is a supply chain? The supply chain encompasses all the steps that a product takes from start to finish. Okay? Any example is good. You have plenty of examples. The bakery, for example, it starts the flour where it starts at the mill, okay, and then it goes to the distributor, and then it goes to the bakery, from bakery to supermarket, from supermarket to customer. Okay? Is it clear here? The second question is about the bullwhip effect. And the bullwhip effect was explained here in this part. The bullwhip effect is augmenting or making the demand a little bit bigger from one step to the other until يعني it reaches really much bigger. How do you reduce it? You reduce it by you can reduce it by following these points. Okay, so here is the answer for the last part, for part B. You reduce the bullwhip effect by reducing the number of stages. So by making these stages less. All right? By sharing demand information. Instead of sending the demand information from consumer to retail store, from retail to wholesaler, and so on, maybe you can send it directly from retail to supplier. Okay? By this, you will reduce the miscommunication, which يعني bullwhip effect is a miscommunication between all of these. All right? You will reduce this miscommunication if you send this directly from the retail store to the supplier. Okay, that's another way of reducing the bullwhip effect. Okay, you can also generate smaller and more frequent orders. You could reduce the lead times, or you could limit the promotions that you do. Why limit the promotion? Because when you do a promotion here at the store, you expect the demand to be high. All right. So you will order more from your wholesaler, and the wholesaler will order more from the manufacturer, and the manufacturer will order more from the supplier. Okay. This would be the effect of a promotion on all the supply chain. Okay. When you limit promotions, this bullwhip effect will be reduced. Okay, any questions?
Thank you very much.
That's clear.
Great.
You have
طيب,
another
do you have
other form for questions? Besides
this
this
is
one?
the only form I have so far. Maybe I will search. Do you need other forms? This gives you an idea of how the questions will appear. Okay, again, you are not limited to these questions. All right, any question between week 7 and week 14 could appear on your final exam, but this is the type of questions that you could expect. This is the type of questions and how you could answer them. I think I have made it very clear how to answer the questions to get the best grades you can.
Doctor, can you send this to us to practice?
Which one?
This form of exam, final exam.
Yeah, it is on the LMS. This is where I have put it. It's on the LMS under final exam. Just go to the LMS, you will find it there. Yeah. It's here.
دكتورة
It's
هل
called
موعد الامتحان
All
تغير؟
Center. موعد الامتحان أنا تفاجأت إنه هو كان بجون 1st واليوم عم نشوف في السكادجول مكتوب جون 3rd. أوكي. This is why أنا حطيت check AOU website. أنا ما حطيت date هون. قلت check AOU website وشوفوا السكادجول تبع الفاينل اكزام عشان تشوفوا الديتس مش بس للبي 207A لكل المواد تبعولكم. تمام؟
تمام.
دكتورة في بالويك تبع 14 و 11 هل راح ينرفعون على اليوتيوب؟
الويك 14 أنا ما
أو
رفعته
13
لسه.
13 و 14 يعني أنا أمس بالليل كان موجود طالع لي إلى 12.
أوكي يس شور إن شاء الله بدي أرفع كل فكرت حالي أنا يمكن للمادة الثانية أنا يمكن رفعتهم. let me double check بس إن شاء الله لا كل الويكس هيكونوا موجودين عندكم إن شاء الله. يس موجود لحد 12 حاليا.
يعطيك ألف عافية دكتور.
يعني ناقص 13 and 14. Okay, I will write a note here so I don't forget. Thank you for reminding me.
يعطيك العافية دكتورة ما تكسري.
الله يعافيك يا هلا.
In addition to that, if it's possible to give us some questions for the unit 13 and 14.
Some questions. Do you have questions, Majid?
No. According the way that's the questions similar to the form that you show us before.
Okay, so here for week 14, definition of supply chain management. Definitely,
Okay.
it's something that would appear all the time. The bullwhip effect, understanding what the bullwhip effect is and how you can reduce it. Okay. The vertical integration. Sometimes you can get a question about vertical integration and also outsourcing, the advantages and disadvantages of outsourcing. These are the main topics that we have here.
Thank you very much.
So
Great.
outsourcing, bullwhip effect, and
definition of
the definition of supply chain management.
Yeah. Okay, great. Thank you.
Sure, you're most welcome. Yeah, any other questions?
Doctor?
Yes, go ahead.
What is the most important topic in week 13?
Week 13 يعني أنا برجع بقول ما في most important topic. في نقاط أساسية. يعني إذا لاحظتي if you noticed, بالweek 14, Majid asked me, what are the most important topics? I said everything, يعني, but I summarized the topics for him. I summarized them in big name, يعني, in main topics. In week 13, of course, we don't expect you to memorize this. No, this is something that you need to understand. We don't expect you to memorize how the tennis ball thing works. Okay, so this is an extremely important example for you to analyze and to think about the level of internationalization of products when they go. Here you have the implication of internationalization. The input process output model is something that you have seen before in the previous it was, I believe, in week 6. Okay, so here it's again with us for the final exam, the input process output model. All right, so this is one. This is something to look at. These ones, the offshoring and reshoring stages. Okay, we have 4 stages for companies to go through. Domestic, reactive, proactive, and global sourcing network. They are right here. Okay. Also, we have different strategies for internationalization, or let me call it globalization. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 different strategies that you could use here. Okay. So 3 topics in this part. I will repeat: the input process output, and then the offshoring and reshoring model. You have the operations, the international operation strategies is the third one. Here you have we could ask you about the comparative advantage, the absolute and the relative comparative advantage, and of course, the 5 forces model, this model. Okay, it's very popular. We call it the Porter's model. It's called the 5 forces model of competition. That's all of
With
this.
explanation for each one of them.
Yeah, absolutely. So for the 5 forces model, you need to explain how the industry competitors, okay, are affected by the suppliers, the substitutes, the buyers, the potential entrant. يعني these 4, they have forces on the industry competitors, okay? This is why we call it the 5 forces model.
هذا محفوظ عن ظهر قلب من كثر ما يتكرر في كذا كورس.
اوكي بيرفكت، تمام.
مو مشكلة تجيبه في الامتحان.
تمام. أي كورس أخذتيه خلود؟
بزنس 110 وعندي في السيستم بعد 210 والحين هنا
أوكي.
في البي 207.
تمام، خلص محفوظ.
جدا.
Great.
دكتورة
يس تفضل.
بسألك على الواجب.
الواجب ممكن نتأجله بس شوي للآخر، بس لنتأكد إنه خلصنا revision للفاينل exam. Any more questions for the final exam?
From my side, thank you very much.
Okay, you're most welcome. This session will be uploaded on YouTube for you to check and see, and maybe you need to refer to it later as you are studying for the final exam. So I will stop recording now.